Hello everyone. Welcome to Time Chat. I'm your host, Dr. Ivan Khan. The greatest wealth is health. It's a simple notion that as human beings, we ought to pay as much attention to living a healthy life as we do an educated life, a spiritual life, or oftentimes a complete life. As new immigrants, our experience with healthcare can vary. Many of us experience visiting the clinic in Bangladesh as children, or actually had a doctor's visit us when we've been sick. After arriving to the United States, in the past 30 years, we stopped seeing the doctors ourselves, but made sure to keep a regular pediatrician for our kids. Navigating the healthcare system in the United States is a challenge for any American. For one to be a new immigrant and successfully find the best doctor, best hospital, or insurance plan, a deep understanding of the healthcare system is very much needed. In 2009, President Obama embarked on a journey to increase health insurance access for over 50 million uninsured Americans. Though most Americans enjoy health care through their employer's private health insurance, as new immigrants, we are left to navigate a public landscape, such as Medicaid for the low income, Medicare for the elderly, and even mixed public-private options. Until the passage of the Affordable Care Act, most low-income Americans would receive their primary care services or their general physician at the hospital emergency room. Due to the high cost of paying the doctor, most low-income Americans end up waiting until the problem is too big and end up paying the emergency room 2 to 3 times the cost of seeing your regular doctor. And not only does this lead to worse health outcomes, but it leads to increased costs for both families and the overall healthcare system. Today, we'll be speaking with a community leader that's dedicated their career to better educating the Bangladeshi community on all of their options, both around healthcare and in many other areas of community empowerment. Our guest, Saleh Ahmed, is a senior manager at WellCare and both a healthcare expert and a long-standing leader in the Bangladeshi community. Without further ado, we welcome Mr. Saleh Ahmed to our show. Mr. Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us on Time Chat. As many viewers at home know, your career has expanded over more than a decade now, and you're an expert in healthcare and also in the Bangladeshi community empowerment. How have you been?
First of all, thank you, Ivan, for inviting me to your show. And I also like to thank so many viewers who are watching this show. I've been doing very well in WellCare. I have completed 13 years in WellCare this month. I have completed 11 years as a manager and senior manager at WellCare. I have empowered this community in 4 different ways.
Okay.
I have empowered my people to access healthcare. That's an important achievement. I have empowered so many young people in my community to access job in corporate America. I have empowered so many community organizations to access sponsorship money in corporate America. And finally, I have empowered my doctors, dentists, and pharmacists to boost their business.
Wow, that's an amazing accomplishment. You've been able to help so many different members of our community, both not only getting health insurance, but also getting jobs and other types of support. So viewers at home understand that as Bangladeshi New Yorkers, we're the fastest growing community in our beloved city. Why is gaining health insurance so important for the average viewer at home?
I tell my people all the time that every morning you ask yourselves 2 questions. That am I healthy and am I doing well at my job or my business? If you have these 2 questions answered right, the world is at your hand. It is not your money, it is not your asset, which is very important to you. The most important asset in yourself is your ability to work. If you have $1 million at your bank, and if you cannot work for 10 years, your $1 million cash will be gone. So this is your most important asset, to work. That's why it is so important to take care of your health. If an individual is healthy, that family does well. That family succeeds.
And has our community responded? Have they signed up, whether it's your organization or all over the city?
Oh yeah. We have a high percentage of people in our community who have signed up for health insurance.
Great.
And it is very important for all of us, as I said, that if an individual is healthy and if he can work, his family succeeds.
Great.
So
That's right.
if, as a community, if we are healthy, we succeed in this country as a community. That's why it is so important to have health insurance in this country.
I couldn't agree with you more. Having worked in the healthcare space for a few years, we've spent tons and tons of time trying to tackle the uninsured access issues. You're also a senior manager at WellCare, and you've had the opportunity to lead teams of Bangladeshi professionals. What's that been like, leading teams of Bengali uncles and aunties and youngsters like all of us?
First of all, when I was promoted as a manager in 2004, I told myself that I would help my community. But the first challenge I had to face that I did not have people who have experience to work in this field. At the time, I saw a few people were working in this industry.
That's right.
So I didn't find people who can work for this business. So what I did, instead of hiring people who have experience in this business, I had those people who are working in little jobs, Dunkin' Donuts, other places, and they have education. And so I thought it's a good idea to bring these people into my business and train them, and so that they can learn the corporate culture and they can do well. And that's what I did. I hired people from different sectors in the economy who were not making so much money, but brought them into my sector, trained them, and they started doing well.
Two of my favorite things in healthcare and also business. How has the team responded over the last 5-10 years, joining your team and moving up the ranks at as a corporate professional now? How do they feel?
My people are very excited.
Yeah.
And that's one of the key reasons that I was very successful. As I said, I didn't hire people who had experience in this business. I hired people who did not have experience in this business, who were not making so much money in other sectors of the economy.
And how about now? Are they doing
better?
better?
But they're doing much better. Their life totally changed, and they're excited about their new life.
And I'm sure they also have great healthcare.
Of course.
Of course. So you've had the chance, outside of your work with WellCare and as a healthcare expert, you've had a chance to be a part of Bangladeshi American Public Affairs Front, for which you serve as the president now.
Yes.
And you've done a lot of work in the community with mainstream public officials. One of the first that come to mind is Mr. Jimmy Meng.
Yes.
I understand he was the first Asian American assembly member in New York State. What's your relationship like with Assemblyman Meng?
It's very interesting. I met Jimmy in 1996 at a gathering where all the Asian leaders were meeting.
It's 20 years ago. Almost.
Yeah, almost 20 years. He has been my good friend for more than 20 years. So I spoke at that event about the prospect of Asian in this country. Jimmy was very impressed with my speech, and later on he became my very good friend. We talked about the issues in Asian community, and we are talking about how to empower our communities. And at that time, there was not even a single councilman or assemblyman in the state. Okay, we were very helpless. We were very helpless. So Jimmy, what we did, we formed an organization. Jimmy and I formed an organization, and we named that organization as Asian American Coalition of Queens. And Jimmy was the chairman, and I was the executive director of this organization. So that was the beginning of empowering the Asians.
And today, we enjoy not only Mr. Meng's success, Mr. Peter Kuo in the City Council, and also Congresswoman Grace Meng, Mr. Jimmy Meng's daughter, who is in the United States Congress. So tell us about your relationship with her and what goals you share for Asian Americans in New York.
As you know, when Grace Meng ran for election, I was very excited about it because I saw that Grace was the right candidate to carry the legacy what Jimmy Meng did. So I wholeheartedly supported her. I worked with her, and I wanted to see that she's winning this election. And she did. And as a community activist, I raised the highest amount of money from this community for Grace Meng.
Excellent. So, any particular goals that you and Ms. Congresswoman Meng share right now?
Our common goal is to empower our communities. Grace is trying to empower our communities, and I'm trying to empower my community in a different way.
One of the issues that our community is facing right now is we have a lot of success in the specialized high school pathway. As you know, the number of Asians whether you're from South Asia, like Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, or Korea and China, we're starting to outnumber all the other ethnic groups. And Congresswoman Meng went to Stuyvesant, and so many of our students, go to Stuyvesant or Bronx Science. How do you feel about the proposed changes in education?
I totally, oppose what the mayor is trying to do regarding the admission process into specialized high schools. I truly believe that it's not going to help our children, the Asian children. I like to help everybody. I want to see everybody successful in this city. I want to see the Latino children, the African American children, they are also successful in this city, but not at the cost of our children. This is not the right way of fixing the problem. The right way of fixing the problem is to have good schools. In Latino communities, to have good schools, and African American communities. That's what we should be doing, that how we can improve the schools in those communities. And that's the way we can probably improve the standard of education in those schools. And please do not forget that we are a capitalistic economy. Competition is key to succeed in capitalistic economy. We cannot afford.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, but I have to ask, you mentioned our mayor, Mr. Bill de Blasio. A few years ago, you had a chance to have dinner with him, and please tell us about your exchange with our mayor, Bill de Blasio.
First of all, he came to us in 2012 to seek support from Asian community. He met with me and Grace Meng's father, Jimmy Mang. He also asked us to help him to run his campaign. We did our best for Bill Blasio. He talked to me about our community. I talked to him about my community and about our issues. When he was joking with me, he said, Saleh, which school did you go? I said, I went to New York University. And he said, Saleh, I went to New York University too. I said, oh, okay. We're schoolmates then.
Same alumni.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
And of course, we're so proud of the mayor for giving us 2 Eid holidays. How do you feel about that? There are a lot of folks at Time Television, from our CEO here to community leaders, Mr. Uddin, who've really pushed for the Eid holidays.
I'm really excited about it. He's a great mayor in the sense that he could embrace all the communities in New York City. We all New Yorkers are one family. We might have different faiths. So by declaring the Eid holidays, the mayor himself, as a matter of fact, embraced everybody in the city. And that's good for our city. We are all New Yorkers. We might have different faith, but we are all New Yorkers.
It was one of the proudest moments for me as well, as a New Yorker.
Yes.
But at this time, we're going to have to take a short break for some messages.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned with Time Chat, and we'll see you in a few seconds. We're back on Time Chat. I'm joined today by a healthcare expert and community leader, Mr. Saleh Ahmed. So, Mr. Ahmed, it's been a pleasure to hear about your work in healthcare and as well as your work in public service with so many amazing leaders in the Asian American community and mainstream public service. What more can we do as a community of Bangladeshis? We're the fastest growing community. We have some of the highest numbers getting to specialized high schools. We're here, we're politically active. What more can we do to become more engaged with our public leaders the same way you've succeeded?
I think it is very important for us to go for education. There's no alternative to education. Believe me or not, whatever success I have achieved in corporate America, it has been achieved by my education, by my hard work and brain work. So that's very important, that we need to educate our children. And if we can have good education for our children, they will, of course, will succeed in this country. And another thing I like to tell everybody, that we spend so much money for the election of district associations, but we have not been able to elect at least a councilman in the city. We have thousands of Bangladeshi people living in this city.
Can we do something to be more active?
Yeah, but we can, but instead of spending so much money in all this district association election, probably we can organize in a better way, and we can help somebody to get elected. You know, but think about it. As I'm a leader in corporate America, I could help my community so much, right? If we could have a councilman or assemblyman in this state or in this city, what we could achieve. We could achieve so much.
I
right?
wouldn't be surprised if the next councilman or the next assembly person is watching at home.
Oh,
And they're learning from you and from our show at Time Television
And
how to become more engaged.
yes, that's one of the reasons I had to take out some time from my very busy schedule to inspire my next generation so that they can be successful. They can be one day a councilman. Don't forget that Jimmy Mang made the history. He's my good friend, you know, and he was immigrant like me, you know, but he became the first Asian American assemblyman. So that's possible, you know. So I'm urging my next generation to come forward, to take the leadership.
You heard it from Mr. Ahmed. Become more socially active and become more engaged with your public leaders. So how would you describe an ideal New York City Bangladeshi community in 5 years, Mr. Ahmed? It's 2015 now. The year is 2020.
Okay.
You're looking back at and looking forward at the same time.
Don't forget, when I came to this country in 1987, I saw two groups of people in Jackson Heights. One group of people were buyers from Indian stores, and another group of people used to work in Indian stores. I did not see so many Bangladeshi stores in Jackson Heights, right? But look today, we almost one block on 73rd Street, right?
That's right.
There are so many Bangladeshi stores in Jackson Heights. That's a big improvement for this community.
And we have pockets all over the city,
all over
in
the city.
Jamaica and
Yes,
Parkchester and Brooklyn.
it's a big improvement.
But 5 years from now,
For 5 years from now, I'll see a vibrant community, a much more educated community. Our next generation will probably run for election. Probably we'll see a councilman from our community within 5 years.
Maybe.
That's what I'm expecting.
So we've had a chance to meet Mr. Saleh Ahmed, the healthcare expert from WellCare, the senior manager. We've also had a chance to meet, you know, Mr. Saleh Ahmed, the amazing community organizer. How would your friends describe you?
That's a very tough question. I think your mom knows me very well. Ask this question to your mom. How does she feel about me?
I definitely will. I have my phone here, and I'll give her a call. But
Okay.
in a few words, from you grew up in from Bangladesh to coming here in the late '80s. A few adjectives. How would you describe?
Probably they will say that I'm trying to help everybody.
Great. And I've had a chance to get to know you over the years. You've known my father, my mother, and obviously we have a chance to work and help educate your kids. It's a pleasure to know you and to learn more and more about your work personally. So tell the viewers at home a little bit about your family. A person this busy couldn't do it without the support of his family. So please tell us about that.
Of course. My father was the assistant principal of Saleh Government Pilot High School.
So was mine, but somewhere else in Harlem, New York.
Yes. It is the best school in Saleh district. And he was a graduate in 1927 during British rule India. He always wanted to help his community. That's why he wanted to be in education. The service attitude is coming from my father. I learned it from my father how to serve my community. That's why today I'm serving this community to access healthcare. I also got my courage from my grandfather. My grandfather was a police inspector during the British rule India. He retired from British police before even Pakistan was born. So I got the service mentality from my father, and I got the courage from my grandfather, who was a British police officer. And
today at home?
And today at home, I have my children, my wife. I'm very happily married with my wife, Sultan Ahmed, and I'm doing my best for my family. And I truly believe my community is my bigger family. So I want to do the best for my family, and I want to do the best for my community because they are my bigger family.
So when you're with your immediate family, auntie and the kids, where do you like to go in the Bangladeshi community? If you have to pick a restaurant that you go to, or in Jackson Heights or the Bronx or Brooklyn, any places that you guys like to enjoy yourselves for some adda, cha, chotpati?
Yeah, but I like to go to Hillside Avenue. That's the best place to go. It's a very growing community in Jamaica. Yeah, there's so many restaurants on Hillside Avenue. Very, very nice restaurants on Hillside Avenue. We enjoy a lot going to restaurants on Hillside Avenue.
Great. And any particular final message that you have? We have viewers at home that are young mothers, young fathers, high school students, college students. What would you like to tell your community?
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to us, to find some time from their busy schedule to listen to us. That's a very important. And I also have a message for my viewers. The message is, hydrate your body with water.
That's right.
It will resolve so many issues in your body. And hydrate your mind with love for others. It will resolve so many issues in your life.
Amazing. So that's the secret right there. Hydrate your body with water and hydrate your mind with love for others. I've never heard it that way, and I'm definitely going to take that from you and start watering and hydrating wherever and telling folks all about it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Time Chat. We can't wait to see more of your work in the community, and we can't wait to have you back in due time. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
You heard it here today. As a new immigrant community, it's extremely important that we understand our rights and options. When it comes to healthcare, visit the New York State Healthcare Marketplace online. Visit WellCare's website. Enter your information and learn about the best options for you and your family. When it comes to becoming a more active member of your community, pick up your favorite community newspaper and attend a meeting with an organization that matches your interests and serves your family's needs. Our guest today realized that as important as it is for our community to help our relatives and serve our country back home, it's equally important to become involved locally with your councilman, local mainstream political club, or an organization that's involved in humanitarian work. Next week, we'll be speaking with Ms. Mona Davids, president at the New York City Parents Union. Ms. Davids, who has been fighting on behalf of neglected schools, will be speaking to us about anti-Bangladeshi discrimination at a local public school, as well as a lawsuit that she is filing to protect Bangladeshi families and students. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful week. You've been watching Time Chat. I'm your host, Dr. Ivan Khan. See you next week, and pay it forward.